Imagine you are standing on the edge of a massive, shimmering river. The air is thick, heavy with humidity and the scent of damp earth and rotting vegetation. The sun is a blistering weight on your shoulders. You're not in the Sahara Desert we know today, the endless sea of sand and scorched rock. No, you've stepped back 95 million years in time. North Africa is a lush, green labyrinth of winding waterways, swampy islands, and prehistoric mangroves. This is a world of giants. But as you look out over the water, you notice something strange. A series of ripples breaks the surface, moving with a terrifying, rhythmic grace. Then, a massive, jagged sail begins to rise out of the depths like the fin of a nightmare. This isn't just a dinosaur. This is the Spinosaurus, the river monster that lived in a world where even the T-Rex would have been out of its element. For decades, we thought we knew the Spinosaurus. We pictured it as a slightly larger, slightly weirder version of the Tyrannosaurus rex, a two-legged predator that prowled the land. But recent, groundbreaking discoveries have shattered that image entirely. We now know that the Spinosaurus was something far more unique and far more terrifying. It was the first truly semi-aquatic dinosaur ever discovered. It was a creature that claimed the rivers as its own, a specialized killer that dominated the water in a way no other large dinosaur could. When we talk about the Spinosaurus, we are talking about a predator that makes the T-Rex look like a heavyweight boxer who forgot how to swim. Let's talk about the sheer scale of this animal. If you stood a Spinosaurus and a T-Rex side by side, the difference would be staggering. The T-Rex was a tank, thick, powerful, and built for a crushing bite. It reached lengths of about 40 feet. But the Spinosaurus? It stretched out to nearly 50 feet long, and some estimates suggest it could have been even larger. It was longer than a school bus and weighed more than 2 African elephants. It was the longest meat-eating dinosaur to ever walk or swim on this planet. But size isn't the only thing that set it apart. It was the way its body was built that truly tells the story of the river monster. The most iconic feature of the Spinosaurus is, of course, that massive sail on its back. Rising 6 feet high, this structure of bone and skin has puzzled scientists for a century. Was it for regulating body temperature? Was it a giant billboard to attract mates or scare off rivals? Whatever its purpose, it made the Spinosaurus unmistakable. But the real secrets were hidden further down. For a long time, we didn't have the full picture of its skeleton. The first fossils ever found were destroyed during World War II, leaving paleontologists with a mystery that lasted for generations. It wasn't until a few years ago, when new fossils were unearthed in the Moroccan Sahara, that the new Spinosaurus finally emerged. The biggest shock came from its legs and its tail. Unlike the long, powerful legs of other meat-eaters, the Spinosaurus had relatively short back legs. It wasn't built for sprinting across open plains. And then there was the tail. In 2020, researchers discovered that the Spinosaurus had a broad, paddle-like tail, shaped almost like the tail of a giant newt or a crocodile. This wasn't a stiff tail used for balance on land. It was a powerful, flexible organ designed for propulsion. It could swing side to side with incredible force, pushing this multi-ton beast through the water with the agility of a shark. The Spinosaurus didn't just wade into the water to cool off, it lived there. It was a master of the current. Imagine the life of this river monster. It spent its days cruising through the River of Giants, a prehistoric ecosystem filled with some of the most dangerous creatures to ever exist. The rivers of ancient North Africa were home to car-sized fish, giant sawfish with snouts like chainsaws, and crocodiles the size of a modern-day bus. In this environment, the Spinosaurus was the ultimate predator. Its skull was long and narrow, looking more like a crocodile's snout than a T-Rex's. It was filled with straight, conical teeth, perfect for gripping slippery, thrashing prey. At the end of its snout were tiny pits, similar to the sensory organs in modern alligators. These pits allowed the Spinosaurus to detect the vibrations of swimming fish even in murky, muddy water. It could feel its prey before it ever saw it. When it hunted, the Spinosaurus was a display of mechanical precision. It would use those massive, hook-like claws on its powerful front arms to snatch giant fish right out of the water. If a smaller dinosaur dared to come to the water's edge for a drink, The Spinosaurus could strike with lightning speed, dragging its victim into the depths where no land dweller could hope to survive. It was the king of a realm that other dinosaurs feared to enter. While the T-Rex was the undisputed king of the floodplains and forests, the Spinosaurus ruled the dark, deep waters where the real monsters lurked. But why did the Spinosaurus become so specialized? Evolution is a response to the environment. In the Cretaceous period, the competition for food on land was fierce. Other massive predators, like the carnivorous, a beast nearly as big as a T-Rex, already claimed the terrestrial hunting grounds. The Spinosaurus carved out its own niche. By moving into the water, it accessed a food source that no other giant dinosaur could reach. It became the ultimate specialist, a creature perfectly adapted to its world. Its bones were even denser than those of other dinosaurs, helping it stay submerged, much like the bones of modern penguins or hippos. Every part of its anatomy was a tool designed for a life lived between two worlds. The story of the Spinosaurus is also a story of human persistence. For nearly 100 years, our understanding of this animal was based on fragments and guesses. The original fossils, found by Ernst Stromer in 1912, were the pride of a museum in Munich. But during a bombing raid in 1944, those fossils were turned to dust. For decades, the Spinosaurus was a ghost dinosaur, known only from old sketches and black and white photographs. It took the dedication of modern paleontologists, like Nizar Ibrahim, to track down new specimens in the Moroccan desert, piecing together a jigsaw puzzle that had been missing its most important parts for nearly a century. This new discovery didn't just give us a new dinosaur. It gave us a new way of thinking about how dinosaurs lived. As you stand there in your imagination, watching the Spinosaurus sink back beneath the surface of the ancient river, you realize that the world of the dinosaurs was far more diverse and strange than we ever dreamed. The Spinosaurus reminds us that nature doesn't just produce one kind of king. While the T-Rex may have had the strongest bite, the Spinosaurus had the greatest reach. It was a testament to the power of adaptation. It took a creature the size of a house and turned it into a sleek, aquatic hunter. It was a river monster that defied the rules of what a dinosaur was supposed to be. Today, the Sahara is a place of silence and sand. The great rivers are gone, and the lush forests have vanished. But beneath that sand lie the bones of the giant that once ruled the water. Every new bone we find tells us more about the Spinosaurus, the paddle-tailed predator, the sailback giant, the true king of the prehistoric rivers. It was a creature that lived in the shadows of the water, a monster that was bigger, longer, and in many ways, more successful than the famous T-Rex. It was the ultimate survivor in a world of giants, a reminder that in the history of life on Earth, the most incredible stories are often the ones we are just beginning to uncover. The Spinosaurus wasn't just a dinosaur, it was a masterpiece of evolution, a giant that conquered the land and the water, leaving a legacy that still haunts our imagination millions of years later. As we continue to dig, who knows what else we will find buried in the dust of the desert. The river monster may have more secrets to share, waiting for the moment its bones are finally brought back into the light. Until then, we can only look at the ripples in the water and wonder what else might be swimming just beneath the surface of time.